And Channel 18, if you could begin broadcast. Thank you. So, Larry, I'll turn it over to you now.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. And thanks for coming. I'd like to open the Board of Selectmen meeting for May 5th, 2020. We have a short discussion item we need to attend to. Don's arrived, so that's good. Now we have 4 of the 5 of us. So I'll take a roll call to determine who's attending the meeting. Michael, I'll start with you.
I'm here.
Steve?
Here.
Don?
Here.
And I'm here, so there's 4 of the 5 of us. So we're going into an open meeting. Joe, I'll turn the first item on the agenda to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the only item on the agenda is the letter that was in the packet for the board to authorize the chair. So the board to vote the action and authorize the chair to sign. This is related to deficit spending. I'm hopeful that for those of you that are on computer can see the version of the document on the screen. At this point, I'll turn it over to our finance director, Carol Capola, for a brief update on the topic.
Good afternoon, everyone. So this measure is provided by the Division of Local Services. It's emergency expenditures and borrowing. There are some requirements in order for the town to deficit spend for areas of expenditures that were not originally appropriated. In order to do that, the town must prepare, or the Board of Selectmen must prepare a letter to the Director of the Bureau of Accounts and request authorization. There's many positive measures that come from this if you choose to make this if you choose to authorize this letter. It allows for the town to segregate the expenses that are associated with COVID-19 and perhaps receive funding for these expenses, maybe from FEMA or MEMA or both. Certainly those reimbursements will not be coming in FY20. It would be FY21. So this allows you to set aside those deficits in hopes of having some reimbursements. In addition to that, if for some reason no reimbursements were to come forward, it would allow you in the next fiscal year to either cover these deficits with free cash, to raise it on your tax rate, or you could even borrow if you needed to support these expenses. I have estimated the cost of $250,000. You can certainly increase that if you needed to with another letter authored to the Director of the Bureau of Accounts. And there are specific expenses that are covered under this authorization, and those are extraordinary expenses with regard to cleaning and sanitizing, custodial costs. I've listed also here the meals for needy elderly residents, personal protective equipment, overtime for public safety and health departments, as well as the retrofitting of buildings to ensure the safety of the public and your employees. So I provide this to you. I'm happy to expand on any additional information that you require.
Thank you, Carol. Any questions for Carol? Comments?
Larry?
Michael?
Don was up.
I'm sorry, Don?
Just a general question. I mean, I'm probably stating the obvious, but I just want to hear the answer. The request is to deficit spend, but there is nothing coming down the pipe that's going to replenish that deficit expenditure. It's raising our ceiling, but it's not giving us any money.
Well, just to clarify, FEMA I've attended some training sessions with FEMA on the costs that are associated with this pandemic and the categories that would be covered under FEMA reimbursement. And I think that the town will also see MEMA reimbursement. So 75% of most of these costs will come from FEMA. We anticipate, I should say it that way. And then 25% we anticipate would be covered from MEMA.
In the meantime, we'd be fronting it.
In the meantime, you would be expending these funds without appropriations, correct?
Yeah, we're fronting the money in anticipation of hopefully getting some of it back.
Okay, thank you, Don. Michael?
Yeah, just a question related to, I had asked it a couple meetings ago. It's probably a question directed to Joe. I had asked a couple meetings ago about resources being made available to Council on Aging and Board of Health, as well as any positions there that we may be holding. Can we get an update on what we may expect or what extra resources that we have deployed to the Council on Aging, especially, I guess, given that our most at-risk group is the folks that they handle? Is there anything we should be doing that we're not doing? Is there anything extra we should be considering? Are all positions filled, et cetera, et cetera?
So my very quick update would be that it's my understanding that all operations are proceeding as needed. We have staff doing all the things they need to do. With regard to COA, I apologize, I'm drawing a blank on the official title, but I believe it was the social worker at COA. That position was vacated on April 24th. We are in the hiring freeze. It has not been added. And it's my understanding at this point that it is not essential to the operations that we're trying to do for COVID-19.
Okay. If we could follow up on that, Joe, maybe come back to us at our next meeting if you could. I don't know about the rest of the board, but if that could be built, some of that could be built into this deficit spending. I'm not sure hiring freeze on a social worker for our seniors at this time, given the situation and the stress level that must be going on, isn't essential. I'm only guessing, but if we could get a report from Emily on her thoughts on that, and the rest of the board could take it up. But I do think personally any position down there at this point shouldn't be included in our hiring freeze if it's to deal with our seniors. My own thoughts. Thank you.
Larry, can I just ask, there's someone joined the call?
Yeah. I assume it's Ed.
Yes.
Okay. Any
I'm trying to
other,
figure it out.
okay, thank you. Other questions or comments for Carol? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I will make a motion. I move that we authorize the chairman to sign a letter to the Director of Bureau of Accounts regarding emergency expenditures.
Second, but I have a comment.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Discussion, Don, with your comment?
Yeah, you got a typo in the letter. Let's see here. Where do I have it?
In the interest of time, could we have anyone direct any comments to Carol? There is an urgent call. I do need to get on. An update from the governor. Is it possible for the board to direct Carol any changes?
Sure, it's only one change. The last sentence is really two sentences.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay. Okay, we'll, your motion contingent on the change in the language of the last sentence. We can do that. Any other comments? If not, I'll take a roll call. Don, I'll start with you since I'm looking at you.
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Thank you. I think that That's the issue we had to deal with. Is that correct, Joe?
Unless Carol had anything else.
I have nothing. Thank you.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Take a roll call vote. I'll start with an aye. Michael?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you all for
Thank you.
taking the time for this noon meeting.
And I say aye.
Joe,
Yeah, Stephen is still out there.
Stephen, aye, I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
With this format, I don't even see y'all on the screen, so my
I
memory is
hear
not
you.
that
I
good,
hear
I guess. Joe, I presume I will try to sign that either later today or tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. We'll have, I would say tomorrow at the latest.
Okay.
And Larry,
Done.
Thanks, everybody.
we need to talk though, Larry, the phone call.
Right, give me a call.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.